Censor is a British psychological horror movie that I wanted to check out. The library had it, so I was like, why not? This movie is about Enid. She is a film censor. Her job is to basically just sit and watch movies, and this movie is a bit of a period piece, so it takes place in the 80s when, in London specifically, when people were sort of vilifying video nasties. There are movies that were super violent, that were, rampaging around the VHS markets, because there's a lot of splatter films made in the 70s and 80s, like cannibal, everything, gory stuff. So basically, a lot of these movies go out and it's her job to watch them and sort of cut them down. And so it becomes a bit of a mental taxation job on her and her colleagues, because day in, day out, you're just watching like people get eviscerated on screen and then deciding if you should just ban the film, cut it down, or whatever. So in real life, someone commits a terrible crime and they get doxxed, basically. And so her and her colleague are basically harassed on the phone, and she's trying to wrap her head around something because her parents want to officially declare her childhood sister dead. But she swears that her sister's still alive and sees her in a movie. So she starts realizing that maybe the people that made this film are messing with her. So she's sort of trying to get into the sort of weird, dark underbelly of the banned movie market. It's a really slow and stylish movie. However, there's not a lot there. There's a lot of style, but no substance. Like the last climax of the movie just homages Giallo and stuff like that, but there just doesn't seem to be much there, and they could have played around with perspectives a little bit more, or like psychological states, but they don't really, they make it really vague. It's almost like there was no story. They decided to just sort of wing it and see what happens. So I mean, the performances are fine. I really liked the beginning setup and like the sort of middle, but you can definitely tell that there was no real story. They just didn't really have anywhere to go with it, so they just sort of ended it. It was an interesting attempt, but overall, I felt like it definitely could have been more improved. So Censor doesn't have much going for it, and I give it a 4 out of 10.